Hey y'all, hey, good morning, happy Sunday. There's a lot of noise, a lot of nature going on out here. So I hope y'all can hear me just fine. Sorry, I am shooing away the darn mosquitoes. They have been on one, like it's quite disturbing. And I've been getting bitten up a ridiculous amount. So if y'all see me doing that throughout the video, forgive me, but that's what it is at this time. But again, happy Sunday. Today, I just came on here with something very serious, and it has nothing to do with, the situation that occurred between um, a very well-known couple from the past. As y'all know, initial is D for the guy, as in dog, and then C as in cat for the female. But I don't want to no longer, say their names or anything like that and keep drawing attention to it. But based off of that, and then this is just something that happens in general. So this is why I'm really coming forth with this. And it's something very personal to myself, but I'm going to share it just to let people know the intensity of getting out of a toxic relationship as quick as possible, and the seriousness of it. Like, it's very, very serious, and it's nothing to joke about. And like I say, we all go through things. I go through things. My family has experienced things, but I don't talk about every single thing, because in the words of Tabitha Brown, that's my business and that's our business and our personal lives that I'm just not willing to put out there just yet. But this I will share just because it's been some time that has passed, and I'm okay to share it. Mentally, I'm okay, and I think mentally, my family and my dad specifically, and my uncle as well, his brother, is okay. Will be okay with me sharing this information. So, what I want to share with you all, for the ladies, specifically, for any men who are out there that's experiencing toxicity by a woman, the same thing applies to you as well. But for the most part, we all know, this is no secret, this is no surprise, but women experience this the most. There's probably a woman whose life is being taken away at this moment while I'm on here sitting on the video talking to y'all. So this is why this is important. So in my hand, and I feel like the Lord also wanted me to share this because this randomly crossed my path. This is a, let me put it closer, certificate of death. Certificate of death. And this is actually my aunt's certificate of death, which is my dad's younger sister. He was 2 years older than her. And it has all of her information on here. I came across this document when, if y'all see my videos, I think like 2 videos ago, where I was saying that I was looking for my official transcript, and we went through about 20 files at my parents' house. Well, when we were going through those files, this fell out along with her obituary. And there's some more information falling out as well. I'll put that back in there. But yeah, so the death certificate, all of that came inside of her obituary. And on here I have, the name of the deceased, Sheree Marie Jones, hour of death, 4:42 p.m., age of deceased, 19 years, 4 months, and 28 days, so ultimately 19 years old. Birthplace, Shreveport, Louisiana. My dad's family is from Louisiana. Obviously, is where my aunt was born, Shreveport, Louisiana. Student, occupation, student. So then it goes further to say what the incident was, and to go into great detail, it says very briefly, trauma due to gunshot wounds. It's X'd off on here that it was indeed a homicide. And then it says the subject was the victim of a shooting incident found at, and then it gives the address where she was found. And it says location. It did not happen when she was at work. This was at a private residence. Yeah, that's all of her information. And I personally decided to talk about this and to record this today specifically, which is June 23rd, 2024. And the reason I chose this date is because this is actually her anniversary for the date of her death. The date of her death was June 23rd, 1983. She was born January 25th, 1964, which is very crazy because that's something I just found out. I don't ask my dad too many questions because I still feel like it's sensitive for him. No matter how macho of a man or how much of a superman he is for me, but not only myself, for others as well. So I still think this is very sensitive for him, but he can deal with certain things. But I don't know, just personally, I don't like to question him about anything. So her birthday is actually 5 days before mine. My birthday is January 30th, 1990 was my birth year. And so even just seeing this, it like put a lot of things in perspective for me. And it just made me question a lot of things, like no wonder why my grandma, her mom, my dad's mom, and my uncle's mom would always say, oh, you remind me of my daughter, you remind me of Sheree, which she very much seldomly said because it was still sensitive to her. That was her baby girl, her only girl, just like me. I have 2 older brothers and then it's me. My grandmother, she had 2 boys and 1 girl, but my aunt was actually the middle child. So yeah, today is her anniversary, June 23rd. Yeah, so just thinking about that and just processing that, even when I saw this, I was in tears because it's just like, this stuff is real. Like, this stuff is real and it's right here in front of me. Like, it's right here in front of me. And I just felt like God allowed me to find this with intention because people think it's fake. And unless people see proof to know that it's real, then they just go about life just taking their life for granted and leaving their life literally in someone else's hands. So this has been going on for years. Like I said, when she passed, it was 1983. 1983. Oh my goodness, y'all, these mosquitoes. I'm sacrificing getting bit up to deliver this message because I feel like it is needed and it is time, because it's the truth. It's so for real and people just play around with it. So if you are truly in a toxic relationship, it hasn't gotten better. They've apologized over and over, but their actions speak louder than words and they continuously put their hands on you. Then it's time for you to leave. Like, this is so heartbreaking. And then sometimes even now I get like a little faint just thinking about it, because it's just like, I wonder in those moments when women are taking their last breaths, like, how, my God, like what they could be experiencing, like what are they experiencing when they are no longer, like, you can feel the life leaving from you. Like, you know you're about to die. Like any other time, it's like, okay, they put their hands on me, but I survived. But in that particular moment, I just I don't ever want to have to fathom what they may be going through at those very last minutes or seconds of their lives. And my mom, even, because I did ask her, what does she hear about it? What all has my dad shared with her about it? What all does she know? And she was saying, like, oh my goodness, these mosquitoes are literally everywhere. Ugh. But she was telling me how, on here it says at a private residence. And I know my mama, her facts can be off sometimes. But recently she was telling me that they actually said she was at a bank and she was withdrawing money, trying to, trying to find it out and trying to escape. And this person, her intimate partner, the significant other, the man that she was with, pulled up to the bank and shot her in broad daylight. But on the death certificate, it says at a private residence. So to me, I think it was like at an apartment complex. I don't know the facts. And it was so crazy because my dad, I feel like even if I do ask him, he may not know all of the facts because they were separated. And not separated as far as like foster care or anything like that. My grandmother and my granddad, which is actually my dad's stepdad, he adopted my dad, and that's whose last name my dad carries. My dad knows his biological dad, or knew his biological dad, because he has since passed away about 2 or 3 years ago now. But he always knew who his biological dad was, but his stepdad is the one who stepped up and raised him. And he was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. They were all born in Shreveport, Louisiana, I think, except for my uncle, which was the youngest child. He's the baby. But yeah, so they had the parents, my granddad and my grandmother, they separated, and my grandmother came to Houston, and then my grandfather stayed in Louisiana, and whatever the conflict was, they chose to let her stay with my granddad in Louisiana. So he knows more about it than anyone else, but he is dealing with dementia at the moment, and he's also here in Houston, and my dad is his overseer. So it wouldn't do me any good to ask him, nor would I want to ask him, to be honest, because I just feel like I'm very considerate of trauma, and I don't like for those things to resurface in people's minds. So, because I know how I would feel about certain things, and if people would ask me, I'm very more open about expressing my trauma to specific individuals. Again, everyone or anyone who I choose to open up to, I truly have to feel honest and genuine discernment from the Lord in order for me to open up to people in that way. But if I do feel that, then I will share such information. But so yeah, I just try to keep in mind other people's feelings. Like, I always put myself in their shoes, and also take into consideration how certain things would make me feel personally. And so that's how I make my decisions to what to share, what not to share, what to ask people, what not to ask, and things to kind of stay away from. So that's just like where I'm at with it. But yeah, so I just came on here to share that today, and to just strongly advise to please get out of toxic relationships. And going back to what I was saying, like my mom was saying, like the man, her boyfriend, just showed up to the bank and shot her multiple times. My mom said she still had the money in her hand from what she took out of the account to get away from him. She had the money like in her hand, and gunshot wounds in her as she fell to the ground. But again, this death certificate, the investigators who are actually called to the scene, it said at a private residence. So I've heard different stories. My dad, if I'm not mistaken, many years ago, I think I did question him about it, but it was very brief. And he told me that I'm pretty sure it was at a resident, like an apartment complex. So I still need to get that story straight. I just don't know how to ask my daddy, and I'm definitely not going to ask him today because I don't even know. He might be aware that it's her anniversary, but because it's been so long, maybe not. But then you just never know because, again, I don't ask. So I don't know if he knows or not. I don't know if he keeps up with it or not. But yeah, so that's also going into why I show people so much grace. Like me and my dad, we're kind of two peas in a pod. We clash a lot. And to be honest, I'm a 50% mixture, perfect mixture of him and my mama. So both of us, me and my mama can clash sometimes, and me and my daddy can clash sometimes. I have my mom's heart and spirit as well as my dad's heart and spirit. They're both very kind people, both very respectful people. But when it comes to all three of us, like, we're going to speak our piece. We're going to say what we got to say. Nobody backs down. And so that's something that I'm working on, is just learning to, even when I don't agree or like it, to just shut my mouth on certain things and to just let them talk and just truly pray in the midst of them talking to me crazy or whatever. versus having to feel like I'm going to have the last word because y'all still are not getting my point, and this is my point, case closed. So I'm still working on that. I think all of us really are still working on that. But this is why I still show grace even after that, even after we do get into it and stuff, because I truly don't know like the trauma that my parents are still dealing with and still facing. And that's why I'm able to show and extend so much grace to others as well, because I know what my family has endured. I know what I personally have endured. So regardless of whatever our spics and spacks are about and our arguments or debates are about, I still show them grace and mercy, just as God showed towards us, because I don't know their everyday battles. I don't know the demons that my dad faced. I don't know what he's struggling with. I don't know if he ever recovered from this or if he ever will. I don't know. So even when I get off this video, because he's on a job now, my mom and I went to church. He went on a job, which I get on him about that. Like, no, sir, this is not always more important than church and reading your word. So we get into it about that sometimes. And I'm not perfect, because I've missed church for the past 2 Sundays, and mentally, I have been disturbed mentally about it. So I was like, I don't care. Today I am going to church. I don't care if it takes everything out of me to get up, get myself together, I'm going. So I went to church. My mama went to church. My daddy is working. But even when he comes from working, I'll probably just literally like lay in the bed with him and just give him the biggest hug and rub his hair, which I tend to do anyways. I just play in his little hair, honey. He just need to go and shave it off, because he only got so much left up there. He shaved it off one time, and I was like, Pops, you look nice. What's why you don't want to shave it off? But he keep wanting to have these little specks up there for whatever reason, honey. I guess he just don't want to feel like he's getting old. But sir, you're getting older. I told him yesterday, you're not old, but you're getting older. And it's just okay to embrace that. It's okay to embrace that. But, so yeah, I just probably go lay next to him and just give him a big hug. I'm not going to mention this. Well, I might mention it and just be like, do you know that it's your sister's, anniversary, the exact date from the year and the date that she passed? And just talk to him a little bit, get inside his brain just a little bit, so that'll allow him to express himself as best as he can. But yeah, it's just like, because you don't know what people are going through, you don't know what people have experienced. And then it's just like, for me, I'm just one of those people. I'm the type of young woman who I'm just like, why are you like this? Change your way of thinking, change your process of thinking, and this and that, and do it now. But sometimes I have to sit myself down and settle down and then understand, like, well, I don't know what he may be going through, or even my mom, I don't know what she may be going through. And I'm just boom, 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 getting on them about their ways, instead of understanding where these ways came from, how they were raised, how they were brought up, and how certain things were instilled and embedded in them during those times in which they had to live, in the 1960s, in the 1980s and things like that, in those eras, in the 70s and stuff, and how it has affected and impacted their way of thinking. Now, they have, for the most part, adjusted to the millennial way of thinking, but they still carry their way of thinking from the times that they grew up in. And I have to learn some way how to accept that and just show grace to that, because, again, they experienced certain traumas. They went through a lot of things. Like, I can't even imagine how my dad felt being 2 years older than his baby sister and having a relationship regardless of the distance, because, like I said, he was here in Houston, she was in Shreveport, and then my uncle, which was the youngest child of all 3 of them, he was the 3rd child, the youngest, I don't think he was born yet. Or if he was born, he was a toddler or little, so he has no recollection or no remembrance of the incident happening. But for my dad, he knows. But yeah, it was a big headline story in Shreveport, Louisiana. Especially, I don't know if you've ever been to Shreveport, Louisiana, but it's not that big. It's just a skip and a hop, and then you're through Shreveport, Louisiana. And to be honest, all small parts or small towns or cities within Louisiana are all like that. Like, it's literally a skip and a hop, and then you have toured the entire Louisiana, or that specific city of Louisiana. Because I've been to Alexandria, Louisiana, I've been to Shreveport, Louisiana, and then there's New Orleans, which I've been to, which it gets a little bit bigger in New Orleans. but they're all still very small, intimate parts of Louisiana. So when something that tragic happens, news spreads. I mean, it was a news thing, like a newscast segment about it, and it was just thinking about it, I can only imagine how traumatizing that was. And then that was my grandmother's only daughter. So, yeah, she rarely talked about her. And this is also something very intimate, and I'm okay to share now, whether you believe in the spiritual realm or not. If you don't, then you can, and not comment on this. But if you do, and if you know, then you know, then you know. Then you can leave your comments about it. But this is how I know the spiritual realm is real, and that we do reunite with those who have crossed over once we pass and we leave this earth behind. This is how I know, because like I said, my grandmother, she randomly, like very seldomly, would mention or speak of my aunt. And that's how I knew it was hard for her, because you rarely heard her talk about or mention my aunt's name as we were growing up. Like I said, she made one remark to me and she was like, "Girl, you remind me of my baby girl. You remind me of your Aunt Sheree." And then that was it. But my grandmother ended up getting sick, and this is, to reiterate, this is my dad's mom, my dad's side of the family. My grandmother ended up getting sick with cancer, colon cancer, and we would take her to her doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And how we knew that she was in her last days with us on this earth is she started saying my aunt's name. And she literally, I remember me and my mom was trying to trick her to take her medicine. She did not want to take the medication provided to her from the hospital. Look at that squirrel back there, child. Y'all can't see him, but he's literally right there. So beautiful. But she was so against taking the medication that the doctors provided. And so we would try to smash up the medicine and put it inside of her bananas, because she loved bananas. So we try to put it inside of her bananas and then feed it to her that way. And we gave her the banana one day, and she noticed the crunch. And she spit it out, y'all. That woman went berserk. She spit it out. I started fussing with her, because I don't be backing down from nobody, okay? Because right is right and wrong is wrong. And I wanted her to be around. I don't even care if it was just like a week later, 2 weeks later. I was trying to string her along for as long as I could, okay? So I started fussing at her, and I was like, "You better take this medicine." Y'all, that lady went over. She said, "Walk up," and smacked me in the face. And I grabbed her hand. I said, "Who you think?" And she tried to, I was like, "Who you think you slapping?" So funny. My mama can tell you this too. She can confirm the story. I was like, "This woman just slapped me." And she tried to hit me with her other hand. She tossed that banana out, smacked me so fast. That's where I get it from. Smacked me so fast. And then she tried to hit me with the other hand. And I grabbed that one too. I said, "Oh, we're not going to play this game. I don't think so." She said, "You don't ever talk to me like that. I'm your grandma." Honey, we had a whole out, okay? We had hashed it all out. But anyway, so going back to what I'm trying to say, and then I'll wrap it up. So we just was having it out that little week, honey. So in her final days, she was like, I remember so clearly, I was sitting at her bedside at her apartment, and she was like, "Move, Sheree, I'm coming. Move, Sheree," like literally, move. That's the hand gesture she was saying. "Move, Sheree, I'm coming. I told you I'd be there. Give me a minute." So that let me know clear as day that we will reunite with our loved ones on the other end. So we got to get up, whip ourselves up into shape, get right with the Lord, be right and truthful and honest with ourselves, get ourselves together, keep ourselves together, because one day our day will come, and no man knows the day, the time, or the hour for each one of us. So I want to be prepared, because I want to see my loved ones that have crossed over. What? Talk about a party. Now, I don't want to see them no time soon, Lord. No time soon. But when that day comes, when you see fit, and we talked about this, no time soon. You already know when I'm trying to get up out of here. As chaotic as this world is, he knows. Just chill out. Just chill out, all right? All right. Heal me where I need to be healed, because I don't want to leave just yet. All right? I got too much to do, too much to accomplish. for myself and for those who have left me. I want to make them proud in the midst of making myself proud and happy, as well as my parents, of course. Lord willing that they continue to be here to see me flourish and to reach those heights that I always dreamt of reaching. So, but yeah, that lady said, "Move, Sheree," called her name so vividly. "Move, Sheree, I am coming." Like as if my aunt's spiritual presence was like in her face. And I ran out the room and I went and got my mama, because my mama was in her kitchen. She was in my granny's kitchen, trying to make her some stuff, like make her food so she could eat, because she had stopped eating and everything. But my mom was still trying to, like feed her and stuff like that. Regardless of her denying the food or whatever, she was still trying to whip something up. So I went and got her. I said, "Mama, come here, come here, come here." I said, "She said Sheree's name." And she literally said, "Move, Sheree." And she did it again when my mama was in the room. So that lets me know that my aunt was present. Like her spiritual presence was there. And I'm not going to cry, but it's something that is very emotional and it's so heartfelt. And it touches me deeply, because for me to have witnessed that, and I was young, well, I was like a teenager at that time, but for me to have witnessed that, I was actually home. I think I was home for Christmas or maybe for the summer from boarding school. And that's when I really started being hands-on, because I found out she had cancer in boarding school. Yeah, I was a freshman. I was a freshman in boarding school when we found out she had cancer, because I remember going to get my brother from out the student union, because remember, I was a freshman, he was a senior, so we did 1 year of high school at boarding school in Tennessee together, and then he graduated and I was there for the rest of the time by myself. So I went and got him and told him, and he thought I was playing, but it was serious. So he called my parents himself, and they told him. And so yeah, that's how we found out. So when we came home that summer, everybody started really being hands-on and making sure she did this and went to her appointments and blah blah, and went to her radiation treatments and stuff like that. So yeah, I was young. Yeah, I was in 9th grade when this happened, or going to the 10th grade. But yeah. And so for me to have witnessed that, that's when I was like, that's when I first really started being like, okay, there is a spiritual realm and it's real. And I was able to process it like that at that age, in 9th grade, going to the 10th grade. So yeah, but I know that it is real. I know that it is true. I know that we will rekindle with our loved ones on that end. So it's real. The spiritual realm is real for sure, both good and bad. But yeah, so it's a leaf that just fell on my aunt's obituary. So that's what I was looking at, trying to see what it was. But yeah, y'all. So take your lives seriously. Take the lives of your family members seriously, because if you don't recall, Jennifer Hudson, she lost. And it is so crazy, because that girl lost her whole family. The one person that brought such trauma and catastrophe to Jennifer Hudson's life is the man that her sister was dating. And he didn't take out the sister. He killed Jennifer Hudson's mom, he killed Jennifer Hudson's brother, and he killed Jennifer Hudson's nephew. They found the nephew up the street in the car, and he was already murdered. So that's why I say it don't matter celebrity status or not. Everyone experiences some type of trauma and pain in their life. Everybody experiences something. So that's why I'm just big on showing grace. Forever. I will forever show grace. That's why I'm so big on doing that, because again, ultimately I do not know what everyone struggles with. That's why I try to be kind to every person I see, whether it's a homeless person, whether it's a garbage man, whether it's a janitor, a waitress, or a server at restaurants. I'm nice and kind to everyone, because I don't know what anybody is going through, and I don't know at any moment when they could tick, when they could flip, when they could just be ready to end it all. So I show grace. I don't mock people. I don't make a mockery out of people for that very reason. I think that should just be common sense at this point for everyone, but common sense ain't so common. So yeah, there's that. But I'm letting you all know, just show grace, extend forgiveness over and over and over and over. But yeah, man, stuff like this happens all the time. It does not matter who you are. No one is exempt from tragedy. Absolutely no one is exempt from tragedy. But while the bells and the train is going, I'm just gonna look over this again because this is just crazy to me. This is just crazy to me. Place of death, Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah. Time of injury, 4:42 p.m. June 23rd, 1983. Sex, female. Color or race, black. This is why I don't play with it. This is why I don't play with it at all. I do not play. You got one time to show me a red flag. Something as simple as you raising your voice at me. And I will check you on it. And if you do it again, you got to go. That's why I'm single, because I don't play with it. I don't. This is why now, if anyone is like, oh, okay, this is why she don't be playing no games. Yeah, this is why, because I don't take it lightly. It's not a joke to me. It's not a game. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, you got me messed up. You got me messed up. Okay? But, yeah, y'all, it can happen to anyone. Anyone at any time. So the longer you stick around, the more you open yourself up to be prone to something like this happening. And for my aunt, I understand she was trying to escape. She was trying to get away. It was just a little too late. And that's what happens often. So the moment someone puts their hands on you, I don't care if it's just a tilt to the back, you put in your hands on somebody, you need to leave. Not, oh, he was just playing. Oh, haha, boy, stop. Boy, stop. Mm-mm. We ain't playing with none of that. We ain't tolerating none of that. We're not taking any of that as a joke or lightly. Because then it'll go from this to this side, then to this, bow. Then to this, bow. And then you, next thing you know, you have your eyes messed up, black eyes. Then it goes to this. Then it goes to y'all full throttle out, banging. Then it goes from this to dragging a leg, dragging you across the floor like you a mop, wiping the floor with your body. And then it goes from that to gunshot wounds. So if this don't help somebody, then I don't know who it's supposed to help. But then I don't know. I just don't know. But my prayers are with anyone who is in a domestic relationship right now, a DV relationship, a PA relationship, even a mental ABUSE relationship, emotional ABUSE relationship. My heart goes out to you. I'm thinking of you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying that you remove yourself some kind of way. Don't tell people when y'all about to leave. Stop telling these dudes when y'all gonna leave them. Oh, I'm packing my stuff now, I'm about to leave. You giving them time to get to you. You're giving them time to get to you. It's almost like you're telling them to basically stop you from leaving. Just leave. I don't know where you gonna head to. You shouldn't even be worried about where you're gonna head to. You just head somewhere and go. Turn that tracker off, throw that tracker away, turn off your location. You just head somewhere and go. I don't even care about packing no bags. That stuff, you can find you a job anywhere you land. I don't care if you go all the way to Canada. Anywhere you land, you're gonna find you a job. So you can replenish underwears and clothes and stuff like that, baby. At this point, you just need your phone, your charger, your license, your cards, your phone and your wallet, okay, and the charger to make sure it stay charged up. Baby, bye. Get up out that house pronto, ASAP, and go on about your business. You and your children, if you have children. That's even worse. That's even worse. Because now it's more than just about you. You got to make sure they're safe as well. So do what you got to do. I hope this gets to whomever it needs to get to and get to them in time in the name of Jesus. Amen. But all right, y'all. Love y'all much. Mean it. Take care. Be safe. Put yourself first, your livelihood, your safety, and the safety of your children first. And chunk the deuces. Quietly, silently, be out of there. Don't even act as if everything is normal. Even the day that you know you're about to get up out of there, act as if, carry on about your day. Yes, baby, yes, this. Act normal. Don't do too much that you know it's out of the norm. Don't do too little. Let it be how it's always been. But get out. Get ghost. Okay? All right. Love y'all much. Mean it. Y'all take care. And until next time. Bye.